Welcome to DriveNomics. Today, we are doing math, but not the kind you learned in school. This is BYD Math. Imagine this. You are in Shenzhen, China. You walk into a showroom with $40,000 in your pocket. You drive out in a Denza Z9 GT, a sleek, high-tech wagon with nearly 1,000 horsepower. It feels like a steal. You feel like a genius. Now imagine you take that exact same car and move it to a showroom in Germany. Same seats, same battery, same screens. But now the price tag says $134,000. Wait, what? That is not a small price increase. That is not just shipping costs. That is the price tripling. For the cost of one Denza Z9 GT in Europe, you could literally buy 3 of them in China and still have money left for a very nice holiday. This brings up to a massive question. Is BYD crazy, or do they think we are? At $134,000, the conversation changes completely. At $40,000, this car is a hero. It's the people's supercar. But at $134,000, it's fighting the Porsche Taycan. It's fighting the Audi e-tron GT. It's fighting the legends of the automotive world. Why is this happening? On paper, the Z9 GT is a monster. 3 motors, 0 to 100 in under 3 seconds. It looks like a spaceship. But when a brand asks for 6 figures, looking cool isn't enough. You are paying for more than just metal and software. You are paying for a badge. And right now, BYD is asking you to pay a luxury tax for a brand most people in Europe can't even pronounce yet. Today, we go deep. Is this car a breakthrough, or is it the most expensive made in China label in history? Let's find out if it's worth your hard-earned money.
To understand that massive price tag, you have to look at the name, Denza. This wasn't a random startup. Denza began as a 50-50 joint venture between BYD and Mercedes-Benz. Even though Mercedes has reduced its stake to almost nothing, BYD is still using that German ghost to sell cars. They want you to believe this car has German soul and Chinese brains. BYD's strategy in Europe is simple but dangerous. Fake it until you make it. They aren't trying to compete with cheap hatchbacks. If they sold the Z9 GT for $50,000 in Europe, people would call it just another cheap Chinese EV. By pricing it at $134,000, they're forcing you to take them seriously. They're saying, we are better than Porsche. We are more advanced than Mercedes. Look at our price. Inside, they try to prove it. The cabin is a temple of excess. Nappa leather everywhere. Dual refrigerators, not just cool boxes, but actual fridges. 3 massive screens on the dashboard. It makes the interior of a BMW look like a library from the 1990s. They're betting that European buyers are tired of boring luxury and want a smartphone on wheels. But there's a darker reason for the price: survival. In China, the car market is a war zone. Brands are cutting prices every week just to stay alive. Profit margins are razor thin. Europe is BYD's oxygen tank. Selling one Z9 GT in Paris or Berlin brings in more profit than selling 5 or 6 cars in Beijing. You, the European buyer, are effectively subsidizing the price wars happening in Asia. Then there's the political shield. The EU is looking closely at Chinese EVs, threatening high tariffs because of government subsidies. By selling the car at $134,000, BYD avoids the cheap subsidized car label. They're playing a political game, and your wallet is the scoreboard. They're borrowing the prestige of Mercedes to fight the Germans on their own turf. But heritage isn't built in a day. It's built over decades. Can a fridge and a few screens really replace a century of engineering reputation?
So here is the gamble. BYD has put all their chips on the table. The Denza Z9 GT features a system called E3. It's brilliant engineering. Because it has 3 motors, the rear wheels can turn independently. The car can crab walk sideways into a parking spot. It can turn in a circle like a compass. It is a fantastic party trick. But let's be real. How many times a week do you need your car to dance? In emerging markets, we love big numbers and cool tricks. But in the premium world, people buy peace of mind. They buy the clicking sound of a well-made door. They buy the knowledge that if a sensor fails in 5 years, the company will still exist to fix it. BYD is betting the technology can replace tradition. They think 1,000 horsepower and a crab-walking wagon are worth $134,000. Here is the DriveNomics verdict. If you live in a market where this car costs $40,000 to $50,000, buy it. It is the deal of the century. You get supercar performance for the price of a family SUV. It's a no-brainer. But if you're in Europe looking at a $134,000 invoice, stop. Think. Walk away. At that price, you aren't just buying a car, you're funding BYD's global marketing campaign. You're paying for their ambition, not your own utility. For $134,000, you can buy a Porsche Taycan. You get a car that handles better, looks just as good, and, most importantly, will hold its value. The Denza Z9 GT is an amazing piece of tech, but it's a victim of its own ego. Don't pay for a brand's bold push into a market. Pay for the car. And at 3 times the price, the math just doesn't add up. This has been DriveNomics. We don't care about the brochures, we care about your money. Did this save you $100,000? If so, the least you can do is hit that subscribe button and give us a like. We stay independent so you can stay informed. What do you think? Is a crab-walking wagon worth Porsche money? Let us know in the comments. Safe driving, and we'll see you in the next one.